see her level damage. Search. Oh, I get it.
Man, I'm on the edge of my seat right now. Like, oh wait, this could be a lot of damage right here. Oh, never mind. I take it back. It's another quick. Wow.
Vortex kick.
Vortex kick. Bart's
And
down.
killing that Bart.
Gotta be game.
Oh,
Wow.
wow, that's game.
Good evening, everyone. Welcome back to WBEL, Charming Division, week number 5. This week, I'm accompanied by Chisei. Manta is currently out this week. He might be doing some real-life pulls. So, wishing him a lot of luck in the new family arrival.
Absolutely.
How you doing this week, Chisei?
I'm doing great. I'm glad to be here. Like I said, funny enough, I just got done with the recording session for Mation, so ready to go. Very excited to see some fun matches this week.
Double the fun this week for you.
Absolutely.
People are gonna get a whole lot of Chisei.
Yep. Whether that's a good thing or not, that's what you guys are stuck with this week.
There you go. So thanks for accompanying me this week, and let's see some fun matches.
Absolutely.
Remember, don't blink or you might miss them.
On this map, yeah, anything can happen.
These are the standings. I am currently in the lead, but you never know what could happen in such a short map. There's bound to be a lot of chaos, and there's going to be a lot of shake around. So let's see what comes ahead.
Yep, let's get into the matches. All right, so getting into this match, we have WickedAwesomeSausage, coach of the Super Soft Birthday Party, with Ibarra, Charlotte, and Seymour, versus Dervis, coach of the Cocky Blinders, with Surgis, Golbez, and Sol. So, Itoman, what do you think we will see in this matchup?
Well, I'm seeing the lightning and fire synergy on WickedAwesomeSausage's side. I'm seeing Charlotte as a magic tank, which might be pretty effective against Dervis, given if Charlotte is placed. I feel initial position will be very important in this match, particularly in this map. The placement will depend. If Dervis is able to get some collateral damage with his units, it could swing in his favor. But if Charlotte is by herself tanking the damage, then maybe Vincent might be able to take the lead. So it should be interesting to watch play out.
Absolutely agreed. Let's get into the match and see what happens.
Let's see.
Embrace quiet, gentle nothing.
All right. Well, right off the bat, we have Sol going in. It's like there's no buffing going on right now. So Charlotte able to stop Sol from buffing and tank the hit pretty well. Seymour coming in, getting his Revitalize on. That's going to be really huge for making sure that he has enough AP to withstand this fight. Ibarra getting her, I think it's physical shield I saw, but Man-Eater buff off. So the physical shield won't help too much. I guess the Surgis it might, but the Surgis going straight for the Seymour, who heals it right back up. No damage taken there. And Surgis also probably going to run low on AP. Golbez still channeling. Let's see, he finally gets to cast his Meteor, doing a good 2,000 damage. Not a whole lot, but the Charlotte taking very well, but the Seymour...
Seymour's gone.
Seymour is gone. And the Charlotte's tanking well, but she can only withstand so many hits. Ibarra needs to get in there and deal some damage quick, which she does. That I'm sure you would like to see a KO there, but still one more hit from that, and that's all she wrote. Because like I said, Sol did not get any of his buffs off, so he only has the one life to work with. But he does go next. If he gets a double kill here, then that's what Dervis needs. And it looks like that's exactly what he got too. Oh. Yeah, that came down to the wire. Very, very close match. Like I said, if Ibarra had one more turn, they were still stacked in an AoE, and she definitely would have been able to get it. What did you think of that match, Itoman?
Definitely. It swung in both directions. Maybe if Seymour had been able to get in and do some damage, maybe that would have been the extra push Wicked Awesome Sausage needed to get the kills with Ibarra. Fortunately, that magic damage came in big, and Seymour wasn't able to really contribute to the fight. It was a tough matchup for Wicked Awesome Sausage, magic-wise. Seymour could not take that damage. Charlotte was able to stand her ground, but too much magic damage coming in, and they were not able to overpower Dervis' side. What about you? What do you think?
No, I agree. I think that unfortunately the initial placement for the Charlotte was a little far off, where Ibarra took a minute to get into the fight, and Seymour also was not able to get in range to deal his damage. He was able to get the Revitalize buff off, so he was ready to start dealing damage, but unfortunately he fell before that became a reality. I think if Ibarra was able to join the fight just a turn earlier, or at least have someone she could have hit a little bit earlier rather than casting her buff, that probably would have helped out a lot. But because like I said, Charlotte did a great job in tanking. She just could only tank so much before she finally got whittled down. So very close match still. And like I said, if I were to give a key of the match, for me, it's the initial placement of the Charlotte. Like I said, it was a really good for tanking. All the damage got directed to her, but just the Ibarra not joining the fight soon enough, I think was kind of curtains for Wicked Awesome Sausage.
Yeah, Dervis's damage came in too quickly, too hard.
Yep, I completely agree.
Well fought.
Yep, well fought. GG's to both players. Congrats to Dervis.
Congrats, Dervis.
All right, so for this match, we have Turambar, coach of the Fire Ferrets, with Maverick, Comral, and Edward, versus our own Itomanpr with Medina, Marguerite, and Sadali. So, Itoman, what's your thoughts going into this match?
All right, so this week, since it's such a small map, I think that it's the perfect occasion to bring out the Chief Nuker from back in the day when the game started. And you had, I think it was, I'm not sure if it was like an arena map and I remember one of the most brutal plays back then was having Mediana and having her be the first turn and just drop her Cosmo Plume and nuke the enemy team before they could even act. So with the kind of small setup this map has, I thought it would be a great time to make her shine. And so I brought her here, and my plan was to make her as fast and accurate as possible, hopefully kill someone in the enemy team, and Sadali could clean up, or Margaret could quicken into another Limit Burst, since Mediana's upgrade gave her 2 casts of that. So yeah, that was my plan. I was expecting from Turambar either a magic team or an evasion strike team, which is why I wanted to be sure Mediana was at least accurate enough to hit, at least make it a coin flip if it was an evasion team. And when I saw Turambar's Meriluke, I thought I might have gotten the evasion team. But when I saw this screen right here, it was a different kind of strike team, and I was not expecting the Comral at all. So let's see how it plays out.
Yeah, let's see how it plays out. And since it's your match, I'm just gonna back off and I'm gonna let you take the reins on this one.
Right, let's do it. So first thing I'm looking for is Mediana attacking first. And right there, she gets to go first. So let's see if I get everyone on range. And unfortunately, I don't get the Edward, which is bad for me, I think. Edward counters with his Limit Burst.
Oh.
One-shots the Mediana, which is not good for me at all.
Yeah.
But here comes Sadali. He's going to indoctrinate Edward on being rude against the ladies. Comral hits for almost 7k damage on Sadali, so that's pretty worrying for me. But here comes a quicken from Margaret. Sadali gets to Shane and hit.
Oh, wow.
And now Meriluke comes in, heals the team. Edward's gonna the confused Edward gets a turn, and I'm crossing my fingers that he doesn't attack my team, and he takes out my Sodali. And at this point, I'm feeling not very good about my chances. And right, you see there, Comral does his charm nullify. I'm unable to land the berserk, unfortunately.
Yep.
And Edward seals the deal. Thoughts?
Yeah. Yeah, like I said, it was a bit of a roller coaster for me watching because, like you said, when Edward didn't get caught in the limit burst, I was like, okay, well, maybe she'll get another chance with a Quicken, and then Edward one-shot her. I was like, well, never mind. So that looked really bad. And then suddenly came up and did his attack that basically almost one-shot all three of them. I was like, okay, this looks very good. With them being confused, and then once again hit the RNG on the confusion with Edward hitting Sodali was just unfortunate, and also them being so far away from Marguerite that Comral was able to use the Berserk nullified TMR. It was like it really just took out that very final chance that Marguerite might have had to turn that around. So a very, very close match and a roller coaster, like I said, from both sides, where it's like I had no idea where this match was going from the beginning to the end. It was really close.
So before the match, I moved my units one space back, thinking that it would give Sodali a chance to use a hate down buff that would lead to Margaret casting her Quicken on Mediana, because Mediana's limit burst as part of her upgrade also drops her hate, so that would make Margaret not usually target Mediana for the Quicken due to the hate change. So that was kind of the plan, but unfortunately, regardless, Sodali still was baited on his first turn. Mediana was dead anyway, so not much I could have done there. So it was unfortunate that I couldn't get Edward into Mediana's. Maybe that position change saved Edward from getting included in the limit burst at first shot. Who knows if he would have survived that or not. That kept him safe from any damage, and that probably saved him from Sodali cleaning him up with the Quicken had he survived the initial indoctrination. Yeah, maybe that position change for me sealed my fate, I guess. Not getting any damage on Edward probably killed any chances of gaining a lead in this match.
Yeah, if I were to give a play of the match, like I said, there's too much stuff that happened in that match for me to really pinpoint one exact thing. But, I mean, to kind of choose a boring one and kind of piggyback off of what you said, I would say just initial placement. The fact that Edward didn't get caught in that initial LB, and that, like you said, Sodali was not able to use the buff on turn one. Just the initial placement and how that first turn on both sides kind of played out, I think was huge in swinging the rest of that match. GG's to both players, and congrats to Turambar.
GG's, well played, Turambar. We had a lot of fun chatting and looking forward to some great matches in the future from you.
Okay, for this match, we have ShadowSnatcher, coach of 2P or not 2P, with Celebrated Jaden, McLeod, and Minwoo, versus LXD, coach of 9 Realms, with Wingstern, Cecil, and Minwoo. So what do you think we will see from this match, Ito, man?
Well, I think initial position is going to be key here. If Celebratory Jaden is able to get off his physical shield, that is going to be pretty big against LXD, seeing as he brought 2 physical units. On LXD's side, maybe if Stern gets off his re-raise, that could help him put up a good fight against ShadowSnatcher. Then, of course, there's also the Minwoo, who, depending on her role, could be very important in how these matches play out. If she comes out quickening some units, that could very well turn the tide. So I'm excited to see what happens in this match.
Me too. So let's get into the match, because I can't wait to see what happens.
Let's watch. Battle start. All right, so the teams seem far enough, so I think they're going to be able to get some buffs off. Now then. And there's the big physical shield from Celebratory Jaden. That's going to be pretty clutch. Minwu's casting something. Now comes Cecil. Will he get a barrier on? Nope. He's going to start attacking. Trying to chip away at that physical shield. McLeod. Oh.
Yeah, McLeod doing the first little bit of damage onto the Cecil. Getting healing power down, which probably won't matter too much. It might matter with how much Minwu is able to heal him. But looks like they're both sides casting haste. Both the main DPS on each side is now hasted up. But like I said, the physical barrier was taken out a little bit by the Cecil, but not all the way. The healing power down stopped him from getting that small sliver of health, but ultimately not too important. Slash res piercing down, so that's gonna mitigate a little bit of that damage from the Cecil, but the Cecil I don't think is the one that should really be worried about in this fight. And then down goes the Cecil, so it's now just the Winged Stern and the Minwu versus an entirely full, healthy, and hasted up team from ShadowSnatcher. So Stern getting off some good damage on the McLeod, but still not breaking through that physical barrier. But I'll say Celebrated Jaden not doing a whole lot of damage to the Stern there either, and especially with having a Minwu back up for heals and dodging an attack from McLeod, which could be really good for LXD's side, because having that little bit of evasion, because Stern can be a pretty evasive unit, and I'm sure many of us have seen being paired up with Helena that mono light meta. But like I said, with McLeod missing and Celebrated Jada not doing that much damage, and Winged Stern also getting his new Limit Break upgrade, which gives him the haste, the physical. It might not be. Maybe it was not out at the time of this video. Or maybe he just hadn't upgraded it yet, because it normally also gives a couple other buffs there as well. But that being said, it still gives haste, still gives an additional physical damage up, and I saw him do a little bit of damage to the Celebrated Jaden, so that means that physical barrier is now finally down. So we can finally see how much damage he's able to do aside from that barrier. Or I take that back, he's going in for the McLeod. He's like, you attack my healer? Nah, I'm coming back. I'm going to make sure that she stays safe, because now Minwu heals herself back up to full, so now the fully healthy hasted up side is on the side of LXD.
Another barrier.
But yes, another barrier. This Jaden is staying safe, and the Revitalize comes up. That is crucial. He's out of AP, and now he's back in this fight with a barrier and with AP. But Winged Stern trying to chip away that, like I said, doing a decent amount of damage even with the barrier, which should have one hit left in it remaining. Which he only has 10 AP, but okay, he's able to do the final hit of that barrier while still doing decent damage for an auto attack. And Minwu heals herself, which, you know, help yourself before you can help others, but Jaden was over there really needing the help. So he's going to need to do some really massive damage right now to be able to stay in this fight, but it's looking pretty grim. If that one-shot the Minwu, he might still be in it, but Minwu is probably going to heal herself right back up to full. And yep, there it goes. And Winged Stern's turn's next. So I don't think that this Jaden's much longer for this world. And now it's Minwu versus other Minwu and hasted Winged Stern. So won't say I like her odds. But she is hasting herself up to give her some better odds. Maybe she can chain with herself with some attacks, but I think she's probably going to be stuck on a healing loop, and we might be going to turns here. If Winged Stern isn't able to chain with himself, which with Minwu with haste, I highly doubt that's going to happen. Or unless this Minwu gets in some damage on her own, it looks like we're probably going to be going to turns here. It all depends on what this Minwu's charging up. It's a haste. Okay, it's not more damage. So, unless this ultimate one-shots the Stern? No, okay. I was like, maybe there's a chance.
Halfway there.
Halfway there. Honestly, some good damage, but at this point in the game, yeah, it's just going to turns.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah, that was... we did it.
We did it. I'm proud that someone in the in the Charming division got a fight down to turns.
I know. The fight to turns on Forest is an accomplishment in its own. That's
Yes, well done.
well done.
I did it last season. I'm happy that someone in the Charming division is doing it this season. That was an interesting back and forth. What did you think of that match?
Yeah, like you said, it was definitely back and forth. I thought that ShadowSnatcher was going to be able to get there with the physical barrier on the Jaden, because that physical barrier was healthy. It soaked up so much damage, and with the two main DPS or the two DPS over on LXD's side being physical, it really looked like he had it in the bag. But the one point that really made me question whether he's going to have it in the bag was the first attack that he was able to deal against the Winged Stern, with the Celebrated Jaden being the main carry and only dealing a good 2.5 thousand. It was a lot less than what I'd want to see at that point. So, but that being said, it was still close all the way up until the end. The Jaden getting his second breath there with the Knight's Blessing and the Revitalized made me think he was back in it, and then Winged Stern just said nope and took care of the fight then and there. So really, once again, fun fight to watch, and it was really back and forth. What do you think about that match?
I think the Minwoos played a very good role on both sides. They kept their side topped off most of the match. They kept their units hasted. I think Winged Stern barely had any turns where he was not hasted. Between Minwoo's haste and his own limit burst, I think he was hasted most of the match. So
Yep.
I think that gave him the capacity to overpower speed-wise the other team. In the end, that speed let him take out a Jaden before Minwoo got the heal that he would have needed. I don't know. I thought it could have swung either way at different points in the match. When Winged Stern went for McLeod instead of finishing off the Minwoo, I thought that could have turned the match around. Again, that haste, that continuous haste on Winged Stern let him take the lead and just lap and kill the Jaden before the other Minwoo could do her job.
Like I said, hard to say, but just going off of what you said, the Minwoos, both sides, constantly the heals and the hastes, they were absolutely key for both teams. And obviously since LXD won, I'm going to give it to his Minwoo. Just kept him a little bit more healed, a little bit more hasted. Like I said, the absolutely crucial to the success of both teams. And one other little aspect of the haste that Minwoo provides, of guard haste, is some defense up, which wasn't as important for the Winged Stern against the Celebrated Jaden, but still helped against the McLeod. And definitely helped ShadowSnatcher's team against the Winged Stern and the Cecil. So, the Minwoos definitely played a huge part in that fight and did some good work.
So, GG's. Well played on both sides, and congrats to LXD for the win.
Yep, GG's to both players. So for this match, we have Manta, coach of 7th Heavens Blades, with Summer Glaciella, Raychess, and Seymour, versus Detto, coach of House Hyrule, with Little Leela, Bronwell, and Valade. So Itoman, what do you think we can expect to see in this matchup?
Well, the first thing I notice here is Manta from the future is sending a message to current time Manta in terms of parenthood. And his title says, all you've got to do is survive. It's simple. There you go, Manta. Parenting, all you have to do is survive. So good luck on this second one.
Absolutely. Congrats, Manta.
Congrats. So, aside from that, I'm seeing some important tanks on both sides. I'm seeing the Summer Glassy on Manta's side, which could be key in blocking that Bronwell. But I'm also seeing the Little Leela on Detto's side, and that could be key in stopping Raychess. So I think it's going to come down to how these tanks are placed, to where they're placed, and how they draw in the opposing teams, and I think that interaction might decide how this match goes down. So I'm excited to see it play out.
Same here. Let's get into the match, see how it goes.
CA. So Seymour starts off with buffing his evasion. I'm seeing Summer Glassy out in the front.
And doing just like what you said, taking that Bronwell hit really well. Bronwell not able to get any buffs online, whereas I said the Raychest and the Seymour are both able to at least get one buff online. The jump, though, actually might be good. Oh, no, actually, I didn't see when she's coming down. She might be... Oh, yeah, so the little Leela actually does get to go through, but is not in range of the Raychest. Because I was about to say, if the jump might have actually been really bad, because that would have allowed the little Leela to silence the Raychest, but she was not able to reach. So Bronwell able to attack him, almost finishing off that Seymour, but crucially not. Whereas the Raychest is like, you're not silencing me, absolutely demolishing the little Leela. And Summer Glaciella keep on jumping. She's like, I've done my job, I've tanked what I need to tank. But the little Leela gets raised. If she gets to go first, but according to the turn order, it does not look like it. She's way down that turn list. I do not think she's going to be able to take a turn, whereas the Seymour is making sure that Bronwell doesn't take another turn by finishing her off there. And Raychest taking little Leela down again. And unfortunately for Valade, he only has the one full life. He might have the raise turned on. Nope, he does not. So just going to buff himself while he awaits his inevitable death, which Seymour brings very quickly. Wow. Very quick match as you'd expect to see from Forrest.
That was very swift. Wow. The placement on Summer Glassy was pretty big. I'm not sure if I'd call it the key of the match, but I definitely called the overall placement the key of the match. The fact that Raychest was able to deliver her damage, which was big damage. Little Leela did not land the silence on her one and only attack. So I think that was pretty important. So aside from that aspect of the initial placement, I think that their agilities were tuned properly and they were able to chain properly together. And through the power of teamwork and friendship, they overcame Detto's team. So I think between initial position and teamwork with the Shanes, Manta was able to gain the lead. What about you, Chisei? What do you think about this match?
No, I think you kind of covered it all. I think, especially like you said, if I were to give a key of the match, I would also agree with the initial placement for both the Raychest and the Summer Glaciella. Like you said, the Summer Glaciella being able to stop the Bronwell from getting any buffs online. I'm not sure with Bronwell's kit personally, but so I don't know what buffs she would have started off with, but just stopping her from getting any buffs and getting any additional AP in the beginning is obviously going to be massive, with that being her, with that being Detto's like main damage dealer. And then having the Raychest positioned where he did, even though Summer Glaciella jumped up in the air and so wasn't able to take anymore. I was really afraid that Little Leela was going to be able to get her silence off, but Raychest was positioned in such a way that she was not able to get hit by that silencing spell. So both of the units being positioned where they were at, I think was very crucial for Manta to win this fight. So that's definitely my key of the match, and I think that's really all I got to say about the match as well. It was very exciting, very quick, and very fun to watch.
Indeed. So GG's to Manta and Detto, and congrats to Manta on the win and on the new family arrival.
Yep, absolutely. Congratulations, Manta. I'm so excited for you. All right, so for the last match of the night, we have Maverick, coach of 10 Ply, with Marielle, Knight of Runestern, and Elsorel, versus Champrooster, coach of Le Petit Cop, with Oberon, Kilfay, and Valade. So, Itoman, what do you think we're going to see in this matchup?
Well, I'm seeing Light and Dark on Maverick's side, and the Earth and Ice synergy on Sandrooster's side. The timing on this match is pretty interesting because we have Great Sword on Maverick's side, and we have a great new luck we see for Greatsword. So I'm wondering if we could have an evasion team here with the Ruined Stern. It will be interesting to see what approach Maverick takes with this team, if it's not an evasion team. And on Sandrooster's side, if it is an evasion team, he has guaranteed hits on his leading units, so should be interesting to see what strategies each of these players comes up with and which one takes the win.
Absolutely. Let's get in the match and see what happens.
So the Greatsword units end
Not right off the bat. Yeah, Elsorel going and then just having some beef with the Valade. Not quite one-shotting him, which is very crucial. But same with the Chisei, taking some serious damage onto the Elsorel, but not killing her. Whereas Knight of the Ruined Stern finished the job that Elsorel started and taking out the Valade. So there's no support now from Sandrooster's side. But I mean, he might not need it if he is able to just deal the damage. Oberon, unfortunately, unfortunately going after the Mariel and not the DPS, but even more unfortunately, the Chisei getting disabled. Oberon, though, still keeping us in the keeping Sandrooster in the fight by taking out the Elsorel. Chisei, though, is going to need to wait another 2 turns before she can do anything. Mariel trying to finish off this Oberon here, doing a good 3.5 thousand, but Oberon retaliating back himself. Unfortunately, though, I think this Knight of Ruined Stern might have enough damage to finish off, but he changes his target and goes after the Chisei instead. And I didn't notice that he was out of AP until now, but yeah, going after the Chisei instead, which could be massive for Sandrooster. And now Chisei is not disabled anymore. He finally turns his attention to the Oberon and takes him out, but this Chisei did a lot of damage to the Elsorel and does a lot of damage to the Knight of Ruined Stern as well. He has, I think, 17 AP. If he can't finish her off here, which he can't, I think Chisei here can finish him off with an auto attack. Wow. That was so fast paced, I couldn't even talk. I swear that was on 3 times speed. My goodness.
High adrenaline. So right off the bat, I think I had to give the key of the match to, I think I would give it to Oberon, honestly. Maverick came out with a pretty good lead right off the bat. He took out the support unit Valade, and he had very good momentum, big damage coming out of the gate. But then Oberon, with his limit burst, his single target res, and his haste, he was able to turn the tide in his favor long enough for the disable to wear off on the Chisei, and Chisei just come in at the end and finish off what Oberon couldn't. Had Oberon not been as effective as he was, Chisei would not have a match to win. What about you, Chisei? What do you think?
Yeah, I'm there with you with the Oberon, especially the haste that he got from his limit burst, being able to, because I think he was able to attack and then attack again before the Elsorel went, which he was able to take her out right before she was able to deal some more damage. Because at one point it was a disabled Chisei and an Oberon versus a Knight of Ruined Stern and an Elsorel, which if they were able to attack together, especially chain together, then yeah, the fight is definitely over. So the Oberon having enough speed to take out that Elsorel was absolutely key before she got a chance to attack. And something like I said, the match was going so fast that I couldn't even have time to really analyze anything. I was just kind of saying what was going on. But I'm wondering if that Valade was put there as basically kind of like a tank. I wonder if he was given any sort of hate, because I feel like there was a point where the Knight of Ruined Stern could have easily hit Oberon or Chisei, but decided to go straight for the Valade instead in the backline. So if that is the case and that Valade had hate, then that worked out incredibly well for Sandrooster's side. It baited out the DPS and they weren't able to get any of their buffs online. But even if it wasn't the plan, it still worked out anyway. So might as well say it was the plan and claim it even if it wasn't. But like I said, the Mariel placement was great because it also baited out the Oberon I think it was the Oberon.
Oberon,
yeah, it's in the beginning there. So that placement worked out very well. It's just and like I said, obviously the disable worked out well and the damage came out well from the Mariel, but It was a very close fight until the very end. So obviously well prepared on both sides. It is just Sandrooster's side was able to just barely eke it out at the end.
GG's to both players. Well, a very well fought out match, but congrats to Sandrooster for the win.
Absolutely. GG's to both players.
So with those matches done, here we have the standings. Tied for first place are Turambar and myself with 4 points. Maverick, ShadowSnatcher, and LXD tied with 3 points each. WickedAwesomeSausage, Sandrooster, Dervis, and Manta tied with 2 points. And Detto with 1 point. Worth pointing out that LXD already gets the extra point for having used his entire roster. So it's important that as we're winding down to the final weeks of the division, get the opportunity to use your entire roster to get that extra point that might play into changing the standing. Who knows, maybe even claiming a playoff spot. Before we bid our goodbyes, I want to thank everyone who watched for joining us every week. Thanks you, Chisei, for joining us this week in the Charming Division. It was a lot of fun. We had a lot of fun matches, and I don't know if there's anything you want to say to our audience before we head off.
No, that's it. But thanks again for having me. It's always a pleasure. Great getting to talk with you and shoutcast some really fun matches with you. Thanks again, everybody, for tuning in for this week, and excited to see some more fun matches in the upcoming weeks as well.
That's the spirit. Looking forward to it. So thanks again, and thank our viewers. Have a great week.
Yeah, have a great week.